Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below, your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on our channel or our website. Reach out to me directly, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Launched in approximately 1996, the Patek Philippe Neptune is the integrated bracelet Patek Philippe sports watch that no one talks about. This is a hidden gem, a cult watch, an underrated timepiece, and a future collector prospect. And here in exceptional yellow gold, you can see why I love this model. The timepiece is 36 millimeters in diameter. Some say 36.5, but my calipers say 36. 8.1 millimeters thick and automatic. It is an ultra thin automatic. It's only once you throw it on the wrist that you realize, though it's 42.6 millimeters lug-to-lug, the solid end links of the integrated bracelet increase its span to 49.1 millimeters across the wrist, giving it a nice full figure and wrist stance. So though it's a 36, it wears more like a 40, and it has that kind of presence. Here's the cuff shot. You can see it'll slide underneath any sleeve. Here's the down the barrel shot, where you can really see the span of those triple solid end links on each side. And then you can see the overhead shot. Again, the span of the bracelet is what gives this watch its physical presence. Now, a lot of these were made in stainless steel. As a sports watch, the yellow gold model was in the minority, and this is reference 5081 1J001. You can see that it has been beautifully maintained over the years, as the bracelet retains all of its original luster and integrity. There are no marks, there are no gouges, no dents. Everything remains sharply defined from the satin to the polish, and then you have the striations of the intermediate links. I can recommend the watch on the bracelet as you see it for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. There's a small Calatrava cross applique on the locking clamshell of the clasp, and you can see the clasp is internally white gold because these fine swing arms use the hardest gold, white gold, to maintain physical integrity. And it is a good-looking bracelet built the old-school way at Patek Philippe. As you can see, removable links are fixed in place by white gold screws rather than the modern Patek practice of using pin sleeves. The case is sharply defined and has the look of a watch that has never been polished. You have the thin but strong satination of the midcase, lugs that are squared off, rather angular. Again, strength is the impression. There's a masculinity in these lugs that belies the rather dress ambiance of the bracelet and the bezel. Now, around the crown side, you can see that it is a crown guard structure, which gives it a sporty aspect. You can see that they taper down, but they also taper inward. It is a screw-down crown with a screwed-in case back. We'll talk about water resistance in a moment, but you can see that the bezel includes engine turning, much like what you'll find on some Rolex Datejust models, and it's a gorgeous look that has a sunburst rayon-like effect with an imaginary center point at the middle of the dial. Now you can see that the bracelet is fixed to the case using screws and bars, so that's yet more peace of mind. It's a little bit more expensive to fix a bracelet or a strap to a case with screws and bars, but it's also more secure than if you use spring bars. The crystal is almost entirely flat, giving the watch a very thin profile on the wrist, and the dial is a wonderful black with gilt-style golden printing. You can see there's a railroad track or piano key-like inner scale for reading the seconds and the minutes. There are quarter Roman numerals, or I should say tri-Romans, at 6, 9, and 12, and then we have Arabic numerals every 5 minutes on the center dial with a black on white date disc and a quick set system. You can see this dial features both original tritium for the leaf style yellow gold hands, and if you look carefully at the bottom, this is a Sigma dial. Patek pretty much finished off its Sigma dial run by the year 2000. So you can see this watch is very much of the 90s with the original tritium dial and the Sigma signature down at the base. Now the case back is a screw in and the crown is a screw down, and there's a lot of uncertainty about the water resistance of this watch. Some claiming 100 meters, some claiming 25 meters. I'm not going to endorse either. I believe this to be a particularly robust 30 to 50 meter water resistant watch. Thanks to the screw in case back and the screw down crown, I'm going to consider it to be a very water-resistant dress-style hermeticity. So while it might be surface swimmable, I recommend it only for rain and splashing while washing your hands. Underneath the case back, 30 jewel manufacturer automatic caliber 315. It beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It features a Patek Philippe free-sprung Gyromax style architecture with 5-position adjustment. It has a 35 to 45 hour power reserve, and the timepiece does feature the Geneva hallmark, so the finish is exquisite. Exquisite. Though you can't see it, the ultimate mark of integrity is fine finish on a movement only a watchmaker will see, and this Patek Philippe has that. If you love this rare and soon-to-be collectible Patek Philippe watch, the Neptune has always been a cult timepiece and a personal favorite. I believe that its moment is approaching. While the sculpture of the 90s, the Russian watch, is probably too weird to ever be collectible, there is now a great deal of revisionist assessment of this model, and the rising tide is lifting all boats as people look into the salmon dials, the black dials, and the steel models. The rarity of the yellow gold recommends it for the future. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.